Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Little Marketing Podcast, where we provide you, small business owners across the globe, and according to our stats, to over 40 countries, with smart and tangible marketing advice for your small business. Now, about 18 months ago, we wrote a #1 Amazon best-selling book, Small Business Marketing Decluttered. Now, for those that haven't bought the book, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to take you through chapter by chapter and give you a synopsis of each one and explain to you the key elements so that you can take away and make some action in your small business marketing today. So let's get into it. Chapter 1. Part 1. So part 1 is all about understanding marketing and it's important to your business. And the first chapter is meaning of marketing. Now, for me, the meaning of marketing is every touch point in and around your business. To what your business card looks like, to what your branding looks like, to what your website looks like, to how you communicate on the phone, to how you speak to people, to the content that you put out there. Every touch point in and around your business is marketing. And all of those touch points create what we call a perception in people's mind about what it is that you do and how you help them. So that's, for me, the meaning of marketing. So I guess the key action or item to think about is that all of your communication in and around your business makes an impact. Now, sometimes there isn't just one touch point that makes an impact, but quite often all the touch points together create an impact of some way, shape, or form. And what you want to do is the perception that you want to create some consistency across all of those touch points. And as we get into some of the chapters further today, we'll discuss how to actually do that and how to create that consistency so you're getting the right marketing message out there. So, part 1, chapter 2. What it means to be a marketing-led company. So what do we mean by that and why is that so important? So I guess the summary in that is that there are often businesses that do absolutely no marketing, become stagnant, and then fall by the wayside and their business closes, versus other businesses where every decision that is made is marketing driven and marketing led, and marketing actions are an everyday occurrence for that business because it's about taking action in marketing. And at the end of the day, if you're not marketing, people don't know who you are, what you do, and who you do it for and where you do it. So without actually communicating to the outside world and not being a marketing-led business, it makes your business more difficult to cut through the competition because most businesses are in a category that is highly competitive. So marketing done properly will help you to cut through that clutter and that competition, and it also allows your customers and clients to hopefully come across you or find you so that when the time comes for them to utilize your product or service, they know a little bit about you and they make the right decision in terms of choosing you. So that's what I mean by a marketing-led company and the impact and the importance of doing that. So every possible action that you can take to do marketing out there, and not just the business owner, but the team as well, so that everyone is engaged and everyone's a little bit accountable to the marketing that is going out from your business. So chapter 3, what is a marketing plan and why it is so important? Now, in terms of the offering that we provide within our business, marketing plan is a big part of that foundation element in working with a client. So what is a marketing plan and why is it so important? So for me, a marketing plan gives you some structure around the actions that you can take from a marketing perspective. And it also gives you two things. It gives you it gives you the opportunity to be consistent in the frequency of the marketing activity that's going out there, but also frequency in the marketing message and consistency in the marketing message that's actually going out there, so that over time people know what it is that you do and why you're different. So a plan gives you structure, which then the outcome of the structure is two things: consistency in frequency and consistency in message. And that's why a marketing plan is so important. As a business owner, you know how busy you get with your day-to-day. So if you have a bit of a plan and that outlines kind of month by month what the activities will be, what the actions are for each of those activities, and who's actually accountable for those actions, then it allows the marketing, or it gives the marketing, I should say, a higher chance of actually being done and executed. And by following a plan, the goal is that you achieve the goals that you set out to achieve for your business and personally as well, in most circumstances when it comes to small businesses and their owners. All right, let's get into part two. So part two is how to stand out from the competition and why your positioning is critical. So chapter 4 talks about understanding positioning and it's important to your success. So if you've listened to any of our podcasts or read our book or any of our shorts, you'll know that I ram home a lot about positioning. So for those that don't or haven't heard us before, positioning is all about positioning your business and your brand in the minds of your customers that is different to the competition, that eliminates the competition, or where there's the least amount of competition. So positioning your brand and your business is absolutely key to your success, because if you're competing in a competitive environment, then what makes you stand out? But if you position yourself a little bit differently in the minds of your customers, that is different, then you have a higher chance of being found and a higher chance of being sought after by your potential customers and clients. So that's what positioning is, and that's why it's so important. We live in such an over-communicated and cluttered world, like our title of our book, Small Business Marketing Decluttered. We live in a super cluttered world, so by communicating a positioning and point of difference gives you the best chance to cut through that clutter. And like the marketing plan, the importance of a marketing plan that I was talking about before, by doing it frequently gives you a high chance to cut through that clutter. One of the biggest obstacles that small businesses face is competition. So by having a positioning and being a bit different and not just being like everyone else in your industry or in your category, then you have a higher chance of being found by your potential customers and clients. And it's also about reinforcing that positioning to your existing customers and clients if you have as well, because it reinforces to them why they've chosen you in the first place, and you're reinforcing all your offerings or your products or your services so that you can stay top of mind with your audience and reinforce that positioning to them as well. So chapter 5, so a step-by-step guide to create your positioning. So it's all about what makes you different. So the first step that you want to think about is thinking about what is it that your clients and customers are saying about you. Now, why is that important? One, well, allows you to kind of understand where potentially you can improve, but what it also does, based on the positives of what they're saying about you, is you can use that language with and in and around your content. So if they depending on how they describe you, so they might say that you're timely and you're professional, so you can potentially use some of those adjectives within the content on your website, for example, or in articles that you're writing or in content that you're producing. So there's a couple of reasons why understanding what clients and customers are saying about you is so important. Chapter 5, part 2, so step 2 is about goals. So it's understanding what your business and personal goals are so that your marketing can be aligned to that and achieve some of those tangible results. Without kind of knowing, where you want to achieve, then it's hard to get it. You need to be able to create a path to get there. It's easy to set goals, but what is that path to get there? And that's where the marketing plan element comes in, because anyone can set a goal. I want to hit $1 million this year, but what is the actions that you need to take to actually get to those goals? So that's why goal setting is really key. The third step is about where you get your current business or current clients from. So that's for existing businesses, thinking about what marketing works, what word of mouth and referral works, and maybe doing more of what is and less of what isn't. Whereas for businesses that are new and have no customers and clients, it's thinking about what do those opportunities actually look like, and start to think about, based on your audience, how we can tap into getting customers and clients. And maybe if you're starting out, maybe it's just word of mouth initially, and you build and start from there, start creating some content, and we'll get into some of that detail as well. So step 4, competition. So the reason why understanding the competition is so important, and it comes back to that positioning your brand in the minds of your customers that is different to the competition. If you don't know who your competition is, then how do you position yourself differently to them? So by having a top-line understanding of your competitors, that allows you to kind of find that little space in the mind of your potential customers that is different to them, and allows you to stand out. It allows you to communicate differently to them and maybe offer something differently to them. Maybe the location that you offer is different as well. So so by understanding the competition allows you the opportunity to think about how you can stand out from them. Okay, step 5, the existing target audience or ideal target audience. So for some businesses that already exist, their existing target audience may not be their ideal target audience. So have a think about what is your ideal target audience, maybe based on the profit margin, maybe based on the competition. So there's a few factors in terms of thinking about who your ideal target audience is. Maybe it's the amount that they pay you. So think about who your ideal target audience is, because then that will allow you, once you start to take into consideration your goals and who the competition are, and then thinking about your ideal audience, it'll allow you to start to think about, okay, how can I best communicate to them so they can understand who I am and what we do. Okay, step 6, considering your product or service offering. So by understanding kind of what you do in terms of product or service offering, and really being really clear in terms of what your offering is, and understanding again who your audience is, understanding who your competition is, and understanding who your goals are. Thinking about your product or service offering allows you to think about, okay, how can that product or service offering be a little bit different to what everyone else is offering, and have a real focus maybe on an audience or a real focus on a product or service offering, so that you start to differentiate as well. Remember, if you're just doing the same thing as everyone else, it's going to make it harder for you to cut through. But by understanding the competition, understanding who your audience is, and understanding your goals, it allows you to really think about your product and service offering and how you can tweak it for it to be a little bit different. So then we want to think about, so step 7 is all about positioning. So now that we've taken into consideration things like our goals, where we get our clients from, our competition, our audience, and our offering, what is that positioning? How are we positioning? What is that little space in the minds of our customers that is different to the competition, or that stands out from the competition, or where there's the least amount of competition, I should say? So it's really trying to define that spot. And then step 8 is about how do you define that positioning in a bit of a key message or a statement. So what you want to do is you want to create a key message or a statement, say between kind of 3 and 7 words, that really summarizes what you do, why you're different, where you do it, and who your audience is. So if you can take into consideration 3 or 4 of those criteria into a statement, and then use that across all of your marketing touch points, whether it's your social, whether it's your website, whatever the touch points are that you use, it's about being consistent. And if we go back to the very beginning about what marketing is, or what a marketing plan gives you consistency in the message. So by thinking about that positioning statement, allows us to think about how we can cut through, and how do we best use that statement across all our touch points to create consistency. If we create consistency in the message, then we have a higher chance of cutting through. If we waver with that message every day, then it's harder to cut through. But if people hear and see the same message over and over again every day, they know exactly what you do, why you're different, and where you do it, and why you're a bit of a specialist or an expert in that field. So this is chapter 6 within part 3, is a step-by-step guide to create a marketing plan. So the first step in chapter 6 in terms of creating a marketing plan is think about the objectives on your marketing plan. So it's not too dissimilar to what I said before. So by understanding the objectives within your plan and defining that, then it'll start to give you an idea about how modest or how aggressive your marketing actions and activities can be. And it's about thinking about what is that actual goal for all those marketing activities. If you have no goal, then it's hard to give yourself some guidance around what the actions should be and what the investment should be in your marketing. So once we've defined that, then we want to think about choosing the activities. So think about, where, based on your ideal target audience, where does your ideal target audience live, breathe, consume information? Who are they influenced by? So start to think about all those types of things, and think about, so what activities can we now action based on who our ideal audience is and where they are and what's going to work best. Now, you're never really going to know what's going to work best until you try it. So that's why it's okay to have a few different marketing activities on the go at the same time, so you're constantly measuring and looking at what's working, what's not, and tweaking it. Marketing never ends, and you're constantly learning about what the best activity should be for your business based on who your audience is, where you offer it, and why you're the specialist, and exactly in terms of what you do in terms of your industry. Then step 3 is about thinking about the timing investment of those activities. So again, make it realistic. You're a small business owner, maybe you've got a small team as well, but be realistic around what the investment looks like. Make it realistic in terms of the timing of when you're going to do those activities. We're all busy, we understand that. So make it realistic, make it doable. You can always scale up the activities, but at least start with a plan that is modest so that you can start actioning it. Also from an investment perspective, because if you go too hard and you think, and there's no return on investment, then you think marketing's a waste and you'll throw it out and you'll never do any marketing at all. So make it realistic in terms of timing and investment. So really put a timing plan in place, the activities down the left, month-to-month schedule across the top, and just start to put in what the investment and who's accountable for all those activities and when you're actually going to do them. So step 4 in terms of marketing plan is the investment on those activities. So again, think about think about the return on investment, but definitely look at your profit and loss statement, see where the investment could be aligned with activities, and just start to trial what's going to work and what's not. As I mentioned, not everything's going to work perfectly. You're going to have to tweak it. Like marketing evolves. Even for the biggest companies in the world, marketing evolves. So it's about just having some patience, but constantly looking and analyzing what's working and what's not. Okay, part 4 and chapter 7. So it's about considering it's about what to consider when implementing the plan. So chapter 7, prepare, implement, and assess your marketing plan. So once you've created that plan and you start to implement it, you need to constantly be looking at what's working, not what's not, measuring where the inquiries are coming from, maybe the interaction that you're getting, the impressions that you're getting, the clicks that you're getting, what people are coming to your website, what's the stats look like on your content, but constantly reviewing what's working, what's not. Ultimately, you want to get a great return on investment, but without analyzing the data and understanding what's working, then you can't measure that in any way, shape, or form. Chapter 8, it's about driving more business from existing customers and clients. There are so many tools that allow us to do that. Now, obviously, if you're starting out, you have no existing clients and customers, but if you have an existing business, there are so many options to be able to do that. So whether it's SMS campaigns, whether it's email campaigns to your database, the key is, so if you're just starting out, the key is to make sure that you're starting to collate that information from day one, because you want to be able to have a database to communicate to your existing clients and customers constantly over time within your business. Now, a lot of small business owners will talk to us about, not wanting to spam their clients, but at the end of the day, it's about being top of mind. Like I always say, your clients and customers may not need you today, tomorrow, next week, but when the time comes, if you've been top of mind, then you have a high chance of being found and them choosing you over the competition. So start to build that database from now. So there's a summary of the 8 chapters in our Amazon best-selling book. The final words that I want to give you is that it all starts with action. It all starts with positioning your business and your brand in the minds of your customers that is different to the competition, regardless of what country you're in, regardless of the service or product offering that you have, regardless of your competitors, regardless of your audience. Positioning is key, and then it's about taking action to implement a plan, actions, timing, and investment. It gives your business the best chance of actually actioning those marketing activities and gives your business the best chance of success. So I'm hoping in the last 15 minutes, I've given you a great synopsis and summary of our Amazon best-selling book to give you some actions to start implementing within your small business and create traction to help you achieve the goals within your business. So as always, if you loved what you heard today, please give us a rating and review. We'd love you to keep subscribing so you never miss an episode. As always, we do lots of shorts during the week as well. But I hope you liked this episode of the Little Marketing Podcast, and we'll see you back with another episode next week.
Please note that all the information provided on this podcast is general in nature and is not intended to be specific advice to your individual situation. Please be sure to engage a professional for a customized approach to your business and personal circumstances.